So I embraced the weathered look with my floors and got it done for 80 bucks or less. And so I wanted to show everybody quickly how I did that. Where it was really damaged, I sanded everything down using an Orbital sander and starting with 40 grit with the stick-on discs. And then I stepped through 40, 80, and 120. Everything else, I actually had extras of these stick-on discs. I got the ones that stick on versus the ones that Velcro on, and they didn't stick at all. So I actually recommend going with the Velcro if you're using an Orbital sander. If not, the surface scratches added character, so I did not buff everything out. I just basically got the prior polyacrylic finish off, and so I was down to the water-based stain. And a good way to tell if it's water-based or oil-based is you just drop some water on it after you get the coating off, if you have one. And if it soaks in, it's water-based. If it beads on top, it's oil-based. Also, if you take nail polish and remove it just with a cotton ball, the nail polish takes the stain off, then it's oil-based. Anyway, from there, I cleaned the floors really well with dish soap and water. And then after it dried, I had a can of Minwax wood finish. It was $18 at Lowe's. It covered my entire area of about 25 by 30 square feet. And the technique I did, and I'm not gonna show actual action, but I dipped a brush into the paint and then dabbed it on the floor and then feathered it out in either direction. And then I used a sock. I'm sure there's a better rag to use, but a sock that was lint-free worked just fine. Like I said, aggressive budget. So then I just wiped it in as much as I could, but I focused on the areas that were really damaged and I sanded them more aggressively. If there was a surface scratch or dent or something like that. For the deeper blemishes, where it was really deep and it would have collected a lot of dirt, I did use wood filler for some of that. Again, I had it. It's really stinky. I wouldn't recommend using it in the house, so I don't even have that there, but it was also a Minwax product that I had left over from prior projects. So I did that throughout my whole floor. I recommend wearing gloves. Again, I didn't. I'm still getting paint slightly out of my nails, whatever. I've taken like 10 showers since then. I also recommend like pulling your hair back. If you have hair like mine, I'm still pulling polyacrylic out of my hair. This was my next product. This was Minwax Ultra Fast Drying Polyurethane. It's a water-based polyurethane. If you have a choice, I highly recommend the water-based products. They say they're low VOC. I did not experience that. I didn't have a respirator, didn't get one, but I would recommend using one if you can at all. I did have my windows open. I did have my exhaust fans going. I still hallucinated. Like I literally had a vision of my sheep getting out of the pasture and turning into wooden ornaments that climbed on my Christmas tree. I knew that wasn't real, never into hallucinogens, but I figured I would just do this until the project was over. And so I did. I kept working. I worked around the clock and for about 36 hours straight until it was done. So this wood finish product says it wants 24 hours to dry. In reality, it dries in about an hour. If you're really on a time crunch, I could say you could recoat in a couple of hours. If you need to do any touch-ups, you can do them within the hour. The directions are clear, but I feel they're very conservative. I actually ended up putting the polyacrylic finish on in the same day for certain areas because, again, I live in this great room. I had nowhere to go. I needed to get my food out of the kitchen. I needed to get water. I needed to get things out of my coat closet. And also, I have big pieces of furniture that I was able to move myself, but I mean, they needed to go somewhere. I couldn't just like randomly put them in a storage unit I didn't have. So it is what it is. Like I said, I got all of this done in less than 4 days. And so then I put the polyacrylic finish on some areas after this wood finish dried within the same day, maybe 4 to 6 hours. And to put this on, I had to work very quickly because it dries in 2 to 3 minutes to the touch, where it will stain if you have a big puddle. So say you can use a T-bar. I didn't have a T-bar, so I tried just a nice synthetic brush that I had, and it worked perfectly. I painted in the direction of the wood grain in the same way I did with the wood finish. I used the same edging tool for the polyacrylic and the wood finish. Again, my edging tool went on an adventure. I didn't have it, so I simply used, it's an old no trespassing sign that I cut up into manageable sections to have a straight edge on either side. I put it against the quarter round, which I did not remove. And I painted just in a pattern, in a very, not a straight, covering everything with the wood finish, but I just allowed it to create a wood grain type thing to get this weathered finish that you see here. And it looked just like that on the quarter round too. So then with the polyacrylic finish, I would dip my brush in. I made sure my brush was really clean. And like I said, my floors were very clean. And before I even tried to clean them, I vacuumed up the dust. I have a really good vacuum here. It's quantum water filtration vacuum, but anything will do as long as you just have a microfiber cloth and a bucket of water and really just make sure it's clean and the grease is removed, all that good stuff, so everything will stick. So I dipped the brush into the actual bucket of finish, and then I would again just drop some in puddles because it's very runny, and then just immediately fill it in the direction of the wood grain. I did that throughout the floor. I let it dry for 2 to 3 hours before recoating. Again, they say to let it cure for 24 hours before walking on it or anything like that. In certain areas, I had to get through my room, and I'm not a super heavy person. I made sure to wear very clean socks when I was walking on the floor, but I was able to do it. Nobody died. I didn't have to touch anything up doing it that way. And they also make sure to not install any rugs for a week. I have not done that. But also my floors look so beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to use a rug. I had a bunch of ugly, old, cacophonous rugs before, like 4 rugs covering up the damage that didn't match. So I don't think I'm gonna do that again. I did need to move the furniture from side to side. I did that in less than 24 hours in certain areas, again, because I had to get this done on my Christmas break. Christmas to New Year's, I got it done. And I'm really excited that to go back to work, I'm gonna have like a nice floor before I have to go back next week. So yeah, and again, this is a gallon. It covered my entire area, which was almost 30 by 30 in this great room. It's a kitchen. It's a living room, kitchen, dining room, hallway. So this whole area, like you said, you can see my rugs have not been installed yet, so they're just hanging out on the futon. And then I have 3 hallways to my office, my bedroom, and my restroom that I also did in the same finish. And it worked out really nicely. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help. And I wish you luck in your project. Stay blessed, friends.